It is the 16th day of September 2022. And yes, it is yet another interesting day to bring you the newspaper review here on TAF TV. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and thank you so much for joining me. Looking at the papers with me today, as usual, as always, is Mr. Victor Sioku. You're very much welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and the first paper we'll be taking a look at is the Vanguard. Amongst headlines in the Vanguard, we'll be starting first with the boldest of them there on page 5, which says hardship as inflation rate hits to 20.5%, highest since 2005. Hardship as inflation rate hits 20.5%, highest since 2005. That's on page 5 of the Vanguard. And on page 26, we have PDP crisis. Heavens won't fall if IU resigns today. PDP crisis, heavens won't fall if IU resigns today. That's on page 26. And on page 9, we have insecurity. Government has failed the Nigerians. That's according to Catholic bishops. Says government has failed Nigerians. That's Catholic bishops saying on page 9 of the Vanguard. And on page 4 of Vanguard, we have 2023. No place for rigging. That's Falai and Yakasai saying on page 4 of the Vanguard, says no place for rigging. And on page 6, we have train attack. Mahmoud's arrest won't stop negotiations for abductees. For abductees release, says federal government. Mahmoud's arrest won't stop negotiations for abductees release, says federal government. That's on page 6 of the Vanguard. And on page 8, we have Flutterwave bags switching. Processing license enables e-Naira for businesses. Flutterwave bags switching. Processing license enables e-Naira for businesses. That's on page 8. On page 8 as well, we have SANS, NANS, kick as Malami moves to appoint new Supreme Court justices. That's on page 8. And on page 4, we have 2023 APC films as Obi leads Tinubu Atiku Kwankwaso in new poll. That's on page 4. And lastly, on page 4 as well, we have Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline project will create wealth. That's according to NNPCL boss on page 4 of the Vanguard. Mr. Victor, just before we move to our next paper for the day, what do you make of the headlines in the Vanguard for today?
Okay, I would like to talk about the inflation. Okay, the inflation rate has done its numbers again in respect to our issues in the country. Okay, remember last month we talked about the July report. Okay, and the July report stated about 19.62% of the inflation rate. Now it has crossed the 20% margin. That is 20.5. Okay, so it's hovering around the 1% increment.
Okay.
Now you ask, why is it that our inflation rate keeps increasing? Okay, so you can see for yourself that since we cannot lay hold on the increment in other currencies, as in Naira has been depreciating over the time, meaning that commodities that are being imported, okay, to the country, which we buy them in dollars, you find out that there will be so much pressure on your money, on the economic structure of the country. Okay. Now, another issue that we are having with our inflation rate, why it is going so high, is that our government has refused to cut down on taxes. Okay, and that has also made that has also put pressure in our inflation rate. Mind you, when there is everybody needs to make profit at the end of the day. So what happens? A commodity that is being sold for 10 naira, by the time, due to those taxes have been applied on the raw materials, what then happens? You increase the amount of purchase. Okay. In so doing, everything rises up. And we cannot also forget the fact that the country on its own does not have enough money to cater for its welfare. Okay, its issues. And what does that mean? It also adds burden to our inflation structures. Okay. And that has also made there is food crisis because we are not even investing in agriculture in the country. there is a war in the, well, I call it war. Some persons might not um, like liken it to war, as in the insecurity happening in the country, because it's happening almost everywhere in the country.
It's
And that's
war.
yes,
It's war.
and that's has caused our women in the rural areas who depend solely on agriculture. They no longer go to their farms. And what does that also mean? It means that there is so much pressure on cost of commodities in the country. Okay. Just yesterday, the president of the NLC, Ayuba Waba, has come out to say, see, the government needs to do something with respect to the minimum wage. 30,000 naira for minimum wage means nothing, because if you share it apart, 30,000.
Correctly.
It is not.
Nothing.
30,000 in 30 days, just buying a loaf of bread has eaten out the money. Sorry that I'm laughing. It is a serious issue. But just buying one bread at 1,000 naira.
It's alarming. It's alarming.
So, won't you brush your mouth?
It's alarming.
Won't you use roll-on? That is why.
It's alarming. It's alarming.
Sorry, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry about that.
And it's funny how they see it as a big sum.
Yes,
a big amount.
That has
30,000.
Toothpaste, roll-on, body spray. It's not luxury in this country, because you need to eat first.
Yes.
You're struggling to eat. We're not even talking about bills, NEPA bills,
Yes.
as in PHED bills, our electricity bills. Okay, we're not talking about rent. That is why people are owing and owing. In fact, I heard a story that somebody had to run away from the house because person has not paid
Rent.
his rent. Okay, that's by the side. But that's to tell you that there is so much trouble in the country. NECA has also come out. That's the National Employee Consultative Association. They've come out to say, see, government needs to do something about our employers. Look at what is happening in Ghana. Ghana has increased allowance. It has given their workers 15% increment in allowance.
Okay.
South Africa, the same thing. These people are trying to cushion the effect of the Russian-Ukraine war. But I don't just want to place it on Russia-Ukraine war, what is happening to Nigeria. Because Nigeria has refused to learn.
Even before the Russian-Ukraine war.
Oh, sure. And mind you, some persons are using the Russia-Ukraine war to make more money.
Yes.
Yeah, the Nigerian side, we are making excuses. But
Okay.
Angola is using the opportunity. Libya is using the opportunity to export their product, to export their crude, because there is so much high cost of energy around the world because of the war. So it is no longer news that the government is doing nothing. I will say nothing, because we are not seeing the impact. And come next month, by the next 30 days, I'm not preaching doom for the country, but due to their negligence and lackadaisical moves, you find out that nothing is being done to hold back on this inflation running north.
Exactly.
In the country.
Because Mr. Victor, it's really not a funny situation. On my way to work today, I mean, I could see the roads getting empty gradually. You know, a lot of persons right now are not able to fuel their cars. Lots of fuel queues, stations around places, and people trekking here and there. It's really not a funny situation, and it's something that the government should look into anytime soon. Because from the way we are now, such things could actually, help in the increment in crime in society. I don't know. Okay, thank you so much for your contributions on that particular paper. Down to the next paper here we have Amongst the Nation. This one says, Bode George, why Atiku may lose next year's poll. Bode George, why Atiku may lose next year's poll. Right, that's a very interesting headline there coming from the Nation newspaper. And another interesting headline here says, 200 million naira cash gift. National honors for victorious athletes. That's on page 31 of the Nation. 200 million naira cash gifts. National honors for victorious athletes on page 31 of the Nation. And on page 6 we have Lagos convicts 1,490 traffic offenders. Lagos convicts 1,490 traffic offenders. That's on page 6 of the Nation. And on page 26, we have court orders INEC to accept Akpabio. Court orders INEC to accept Akpabio, that's on page 26. And on page 5, we have Security Council recommends Nat Force banned. Okay? Security Council recommends Nat Force ban. That's on page 5. And on page 25, we have Buhari. Governors, Tinubu condole with Akeredolu over mom's death. Buhari, governors, Tinubu condole with Akeredolu over mom's death. That's on page 25. And on page 5, we have 14 Britain, 4 Americans, 268 others get Nigerian citizenship. That's on page 5. And lastly, on page 28 of The Nation, we have Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline project will create wealth. All right, already heard that already in the previous papers. Mr. Victor, what do you make of these headlines in The Nation?
Okay, I would like to talk about Chief Bode George, okay, the former BOT chairman, the board of trustee of the PDP. Okay, he has come out to say that if the PDP does not take their time, that they will lose the election come 2023. Okay. Well, he made a very strong point that with the way the PDP is being run, that we might have a PDP of not People's Democratic Party. That's the NPDP.
Do you see his statement in any way referring to Governor Wike?
Oh, obviously. Okay. Obviously, that's where he's
pointing at.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's where he's hinging his statement. Okay, and if it continues this way, like I say, they will have the NPDP, that's the Northern People's Democratic Party, and the SPDP, meaning the South People's Democratic Party, or the Southern People's Democratic Party. Well, and you now ask, is it that we just have less than 2 weeks before the campaign starts, okay? And he was making all these statements with respect to the appointment to fill up the campaign position, as in the campaign management position. And one striking thing happened, that they were able to also include the name of Nyesom Wike as a member of the organizing committee for the campaigns. Okay, that for me showed some good sign, but it's now for us to hear from Wike to know whether he will tell them, my friend, I don't need such a position. Okay.
So what makes you think he's going to decline?
Oh, sure. We know him. He
doesn't settle for less, huh?
Of course, now, because even the VP that they wanted to give him, he was not even so cool with it. He wanted to become the presidential candidate of the party.
Okay.
Can we recall back when he was making pronouncements, making the trips? He even went so slim.
But later on, when it became clear that he just couldn't be that, so he had to settle for the position of the vice president. Then that still didn't come his way. And
yes. And that just reminded me of when he was also saying, I need power, give me power, okay? Give me the power, okay? But you know, this another striking statement from him that also weakens me. Well, that's the one I just mentioned does not.
But if you are being honest, Nigeria needs somebody like Wike currently, right?
Oh, that is your own 2 cents.
I don't know. From my own point of view, I feel like we need somebody like Governor Wike
out and vote for who they want to lead them. Okay. I think come 2023.
Okay.
Just for the INEC to just make sure that they make the necessary preparations. I don't want to delve into INEC matter because of the new developments coming from INEC, where their data are not just coming together. But that's not the matter that we have here. But now, Chief Bode George has made his statement, okay, coming from the part that some persons have been given some positions with respect to the campaign. He's also coming out to say, see, this is not enough. Ayu should just go. Okay. Ayu should just go. Is it too much for Ayu to go? Is there something that they are hiding from us? Okay. And also, I think the Atiku structure or their organization, they are beginning to try to bring these people together.
That further strengthens our suspicion that maybe they are up to something.
Well,
yes,
maybe,
just maybe,
because Odom Emmanuel, the Akwa Ibom State governor, was also included as the member of this committee.
Okay,
Otom, that's the Benue State governor, was also included as member.
Okay.
Dokmesi, High Chief Dokpesi, the owner of AIT, also he is chairing the technology and the election management part of the committee.
Okay.
But what am I saying? We find out that they've used these campaign positions to bring in. Even Makinde was also brought in to handle the southwest part of the campaign. But you know, can you believe they had more than 300 persons to form this campaign group? Well, it is their own structure. They know how they want to deal with it. But, well, we'll have to wait. I think next week will be very, very interesting because we'll hear more from the camp of Mike with respect to this appointment.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for your thoughts on that particular paper. Okay. Next, we'll be looking at the Daily Sun, where we have amongst the major headlines here. This one says APC, PDP, Labour Party fight as rating poll places Obi ahead of Atiku and Tinubu. APC, PDP, Labour Party fight as rating poll places Obi ahead Atiku and Tinubu. Okay, that's on page 6. You want more details on that headline, get a copy of Daily Sun for yourself. And on page 27, we have 2023. Keeping Ayu may cost PDP victory. That's according to Bode George warns. Keeping Ayu may cost PDP victory. Bode George warns. That's on page 27. Says Southwest should produce next chairman. All right, and moving on now to page 26, where we have ASU gives conditions to end over 7-month industrial action. ASU gives conditions to end 7-month industrial action. That's on page 26. And on page 4 as well, we have we will arrest cage terrorists, bandits, kidnapping sponsors before elections. That's according to the DSS on page 4. They're saying we will arrest cage terrorists, bandits, kidnapping sponsors before elections. That's according to DSS on page 4. And on page 24, we have Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline project will create wealth, says NNPCL boss on page 24. And on page 26, we have Buhari appoints Indiomu interim administrator, amnesty program. That's on page 26. And lastly, on page 2 of Daily Sun, we have more hardship for Nigerians as inflation rises to 20.52%. Okay, we already read that already in the previous paper. Mr. Victor, what do you make of the headlines in the Daily Sun for today?
Okay, I'll take the big headline, okay, where you have
APC, PDP, Labour Party fighting because of the poll that placed the OB over Atiku and Tinubu.
There is so much commotion happening right now in the political space, okay?
It's expected, actually. It's expected.
So, a bombshell was released yesterday, okay, by the poll. The poll was conducted by ANAP. ANAP is being, will I say, chaired, or the creative director for ANAP is Atedo Peterside. Atedo Peterside, the founder and the former chair of Stanbic IBTC Bank. Okay, he's a true and true Rivers man. Okay, and well, the poll came out and so much pandemonium happened. Okay, P2B came first, then we had the APC and the PDP.
Why will he come first?
So
why will he come first?
The APC and the PDP came distant second, and they tied up together. Okay, then the NNPP came fourth. Okay, far away.
That's Kwankwaso's party, right?
Yes. Came a distant fourth. Okay. Now to the reactions. Okay. Now, Jubrin, who is a campaign, I'll start with the NNPP. Jubrin, who is the campaign manager for the NNPP, came out to say, see, this is a concocted result, okay? And he mentioned one thing. He said that back in 2015, that the same ANAP conducted a poll, and Goodluck Jonathan led in the poll. But when the people came out to vote, they came out in their numbers and they voted for President Goodluck Jonathan. Oh, come on, President Buhari. I
Buhari.
don't know why. Please help me. Why is it that I forget the name of our president? Why?
I don't
So,
know. I don't know. You tell me.
so our current president won after they released the poll in 2015. Okay. But they also mentioned about an international firm, Neo Telegram. They came out to also, they did theirs in 2015, and they projected the current president as the winner.
Okay.
And eventually he became the winner. So Juprin is totally against the poll, and he is saying that, see, come 2023, that Kwankwaso, who already has the numbers in the north, why would they did not even give him any top result from the north? Okay, so that for that reason,
At least
that
to show that he is recognized as a major competition.
yes, so for that reason that the poll is fake.
It's fake.
Now to
PDP and APC.
now to PDP. Okay, Buala is their campaign chair with respect to media. Okay. Now Buala said, see, that they were supposed to show us that you don't do a poll, and I think I'm cool with that point. You don't do a poll without releasing the sample sizes. Okay, there are details to polls. Let us know the true statistics on how you gather this data.
Okay.
Okay, we should know the form of gathering this data. Did you gather the data through the internet, which he asked? And if you know, if the data was gathered through the internet, Obi will certainly win, because it is obvious that majority of
Internet users.
Obi's fans are internet users.
Okay.
Almost internet users are Obi fans. Okay, and he also mentioned that 50%, that is his own data. He should also give me the sample of this data that he released. That 50% of Nigerians on the internet that are for P2B, that are his supporters, that they are outside the country.
Okay.
And they do not have the instrument to vote come 2023.
Okay.
Now that is his own side. Then finally, Ononoga, the media partner for the Tinubu campaign organization, he came out also to say, see, that why are we looking at the way of the ANAP polls, that ANAP, they are using this medium to sell their brand, that he does not believe anything, and in fact they insulted the person of Tinubu because they did not even respect his popularity in the southwest. Okay, but in all, well, the election is coming. It's coming so quick, and I know more polls will come out. Although if you go to the internet, yeah, it's happening on the time. But I would want a situation whereby, just like Buala mentioned, they should come out and tell us details on how they collected the data for the poll. Okay.
So you are agreeing with Buala on his verdict?
No, I think the poll, I'm not going to justify on the poll right now, but I think before you release such poll, or while releasing the poll, let us know the details in the poll.
Yes, like Buala stated.
Yes, let's know the details in the poll. Well, the national chairman of the Labour Party is singing hallelujah to the numbers. Okay? That's the chairman himself, Abure, coming out to say, see, the people have spoken, and come 2023, these people will speak more. Well, for the details of the poll, P2B scored over 60%. Okay. But Buala also said something. In all, mind you, you must score 25%, minimum of 25% in the general election. Okay? You must score minimum of 25% in 24 states in the country. But I'm not sure that he made those marks from the poll. Okay? Secondly, it is also good to let our viewers know that from the poll, it stated that young persons voted more for P2B, which we know that he is buying the hearts of the young persons. Okay, well, we leave it for more polls to come out, and the road to 2023. I am sure it will be so intriguing.
Okay, well, Mr. Victor, just before we call it a day on the program for today, given the results of this poll, do you see it in any way playing, or should I say, influencing the the outcome of the elections next year?
Personally, I think I will need more polls to come out.
Okay.
I need more polls to come out because, yes, they stated that in the South, P2B won. In the Southeast, he won over 70%. Okay. But come to think of it, I still know that the Labour Party and P2B, they need to do so much in the North.
Okay.
There's a whole lot happening in the North. The other day, they wanted to do their...
And the North has the numbers.
Oh, sure. They wanted to do their 1 million man rally in Kaduna, and it was the police really dealt with them, okay, wow, and called it off. And look at what's happened. Yes, some persons will be like, yes, they have some numbers in Jos, they have some numbers in Sokoto, but I think it is not enough. And I think if they want to win the election come 2023, they should put in more energy to the North. And that also goes to the PDP, okay, and the APC. If they really want to win the election, they should not just dwell in the northern part of the country and the southwest. They should come to southeast and campaign vigorously. They should come to south and campaign vigorously, because this is something that you need to cover the ranks and file of the country.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for stopping by once again. Thank you, I really appreciate you for stopping by. And thank you too for staying there, watching us up until this time. We say a big thank you, because without you, we would not be here. But fortunately, we have come to the end of the program for today. This is the Newspaper Review. Once again, my name is Cyril Aloysius. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. You can check us out on YouTube. We're at TAF TV. Check us out on Instagram. We're at TAF TV_NG. On Facebook, we're at TAF TV. And on Twitter, we're at TAF TV. Don't also forget to check www.tafmedia.com to get informed and updated on all angles and areas of life. Thank you so much once again. Until we come your way again next time, to have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye for now.